I'm Connor Northrup of MyMMAnews.com, and I am now joined by UFC strawweight Yan Xiaonan, who takes on Marina Rodriguez at UFC 272 on March 5th. Thanks to both of you for joining me today. I appreciate it. And I know right now, too, you're training with Team Alpha Male over in California, too. And I was just curious, too, like what has living and training in California been like for you so far? How do you like it over on the West Coast?
Yeah, everything goes very well. Training-wise, the training here is awesome. It's great. So I can feel that I improve a lot on myself. And outside of training, I knew a lot of new friends here, and there are a lot of Chinese people living in California. So make me feel here's another home. So I'm very happy I train and live in California.
And obviously, I'm sure training takes up like a lot of your time too. But just being in California too, like, is there anything that you really like to do when you're not in the gym in California? Like, is there like a certain maybe restaurant you like, certain outdoor activity you like to do in California that maybe you couldn't do it elsewhere? What do you like about California?
Yeah, I like all the outdoor activities here, like snowboard, running outside and bicycle, and even some like warm spring. Yeah, I like just all the outdoor activities.
Yeah, I saw on Instagram that you do like to snowboard. I was curious too, like how long have you been snowboarding for?
Yeah, even before I came to the US, I did a snowboard in China, back in China. But I did more in the US because it's more convenient, because there is a place we can play the snowboard only 1 hour drive from where I live. So, yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And how does like the mountains, I guess, compare to like in China? How does California compare to China in that sense?
The mountain here is bigger than in China, and there are more snow. Yeah, here.
And obviously, like, the Winter Olympics are going on now too, and in your home country of China too. Have you been able to check out like any of the events on like TV or anything like that, especially snowboarding?
Oh, I watched some like skating games.
Figure skating?
Yeah. Not figure skating, speed.
Oh, okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Now, like, just like hypothetically too, like, I mean, if you were ever to be like an Olympic athlete, like, what event do you feel like would suit you the most, especially when it comes to like Winter Games? Would it be like snowboarding or something like that?
Figure skating.
Why figure skating?
Because she is lean, very.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious too. Like, I mean, obviously now you're a professional MMA fighter, but what sports, like, what other sports have you competed in? Throughout your life?
Yeah, I practiced like traditional Chinese martial arts when I was a kid, and Sanda kickboxing. So all related to mixed martial arts.
And one of my last things just on the Olympics too is I know how people have talked about for years now about maybe possibly putting MMA into the Olympics and things like that. I was just wondering, like, what's kind of your take on that too, as far as like making MMA like Olympic sport? Like, do you think that's something that could be possible one day?
Yeah, I think it's possible. Maybe just amateur MMA, like wear the headgear, shin guard. Yeah.
And I mentioned at the top too, obviously you're fighting Marina Rodriguez next, March 5th. That fight is. Both of you guys, I think, ironically, are coming off losses to Carla Esparza. I was just curious too, like, what did you learn from that last fight the most? What was one of the biggest takeaways from that bout?
Yeah, I think the only way is just keep training hard and hard, and to improve what you are not good at, your weakness point, but you have to train harder on that. And if you are ready for the fight, so the outcome won't be bad.
And obviously, you just said, training, and I get that, but I did see you took about 10 months off between that fight and this last one. How important was it to kind of maybe get like a little break, between fights?
Yeah, because the reason there's a long break, because I want to come to the US again for training. So before I came to the US, I need to spend more time with my family. And I also need to adjust my mentality from the lost. So yeah, it take a little bit longer time to give me a break and make me able to back to training.
Yeah, and with all that said, yeah, I mean, how refreshed do you feel now after all that?
Yeah, the biggest change from now and my thinking right after the fight is I think loss of fight is not that terrible. You know, it's just a part of the game. So I can bounce back and win again.
Is that like a new way of thinking, like just after this fight?
Yeah, cause before the Carla's fight, I never lost a fight during almost 10 years. So I never think about how about lose a game. But now that is what I learned from my last fight. So how to adjust myself from the loss.
Yeah. Did it feel like, I mean, obviously, you know, it's never a good thing, you know, when you lose a fight, but like, does it kind of feel that kind of had that off your shoulders now, you know, that loss like out of the way? Like, is there any, like, is there less pressure now that, you know, you're not so much worried about as like, you know, positive, negative outcome? Obviously you want to win, but is there less pressure with that, knowing that, you know, the win streak's kind of gone with, and you're kind of entering, you know, a new stage in your career?
It's not a big difference because there is always a pressure on your shoulder when you have a fight. So for my next fight, I have to win. So yeah, there is another pressure. So yeah, if you are talking about the amount, the volume of pressure is not changed that much. Just different type of pressure.
And then speaking about this next fight too, just when you look at Marina Rodriguez too, you know, how do you kind of break down this fight? You know, what are some like her weaknesses that you've been able to maybe, you know, spot out?
Yeah, me and my coach teams, we did a like film study on her, and I think I think I'm faster than her. Yeah, my movement is better than her.
And with that too, do you have a prediction on this fight? How do you see it ending?
I think this fight will go to decision.
And then another thing too, I mean, obviously with this fight too, I mean, I think there has to be some kind of title implications in this. I mean, both you guys are ranked very high in the division and everything like that. And I was just curious too, like, you know, obviously with Wei Li coming off back-to-back fights too, and as far as just talking about like you know, the next Chinese champion in the UFC, like, do you feel like you have the best chance of maybe becoming that next you know, UFC Chinese champion?
Be a UFC champion is always my goal in my mind. I don't care if I am the first, second, third, fourth Chinese champion, but my goal is just become the UFC champion one day.
And then one of my last things too is just as far as like, you know, we talked a lot about the Olympics and we just talked about, you know, becoming a you know, the next you know, Chinese champion as well. But is there any like Chinese athletes that are currently in MMA that maybe we know about, we don't know about, that maybe we should pay a little more attention to? Anyone that's overlooked that maybe you know, she knows just from training and things like that?
Li Kaiwen, do you know a Chinese fighter? His name is Li Kaiwen. He used to fight in one championship. He is he also trained at Team FML a while with Xiaonan, so she knew him, and his striking is very explosive, but also a very good wrestler. So he is a very top prospect from Chinese MMA. So she hope one day Li Kaiwen will fight in UFC.
And I mean, that's pretty much it for my questions. Anything that you guys would like to add before we, you know, kind of end things here?
So thanks everyone who supports me. Please stay tuned on March 5th, my UFC fight versus Marina Rodriguez. I want to show you the best Yan Xiaonan and show my improvement.
All right. Well, thank you so much to you, Wong, as well, too, for translating there, and also Yan for giving your time as well. And I wish you nothing but the best in the upcoming fight.